So we're going to take a look at some of the things that have become apparent weaknesses in our game as we head towards the postseason. Um, like with previous videos, this is for educational purposes, not to call anybody out or make light of mistakes that we're making, as we're all guilty of them. These are just the ones that have been highlighted here. It's going to start out real simple, just on a retrieval. A puck gets flung all the way down the surface. We have our defenseman that's first back. He's going to pick it up and he's going to swing the net line. Our partner should come across and fill in the lane that he is left. That's the better puck support option. Otherwise, you come out on top of each other. Do you see the defenseman there? They hold hands coming up the rink, which isn't an ideal scenario for moving the puck ahead. Well, right to the forecheck. 2-1-2 forecheck needs to rotate. The change of direction for a player coming at an angle becomes untenable in most cases. A switch should occur. It's the most efficient means of puck pursuit. The spacing should be tighter with F3. Our defensemen should be seldom lined up outside the dots. In the event that two long guys are fleeing the zone on the same side and they're stacking it, it's on the D-men to call that out, what they want to happen. There are a couple of ways to play that. What happens in the video is not one of them. Importance on the dot line shows up again as the defenseman is beaten to the inside and his partner is in no condition to cover the middle of the ice as a safety net. The entire interior of the rink is freely available. Now on the retrieval, the ideal play, and it might be too much to ask at this level, but I think that's fair, but ideally this defenseman understands that he swung the net with the puck and he's able to turn back with this, given the angle of the forecheck that's coming at him. We don't have a call for that. It would come from the goalie in this case probably. We don't have a communication set for that. So the next best play is to do anything but try to make a move. We have a slip pass to the partner who is open heading up. We have player 25 who would love to try to catch a likely uncatchable pass, and we have the center lane, but that exit comes up quick, and I understand our GPS might not catch that in time. There's also using the boards or glass to try to wedge it out. Blind reverse and trying to make a move here after a breakaway was surrendered is not advisable, as the game is in chaos mode for a brief few seconds. Next, we got two players off a face-off. They're going to address the point man with the puck. That leaves the center loose in the slot. The escape plan by player 16 is a good one. It's against the flow of the play and towards a friendly side of the rink. The execution isn't flawless, but it's still won well. At first I thought, wow, look at this. Look at the confidence that we have in 16 is going to pull this off. We're moving up the ice and he's still at war, but I see enough distance there to validate the trust shown after looking at it a second time. So now the shot goes wide as two guys aren't covering a shooting lane. Luckily, no one can score from 60 feet in this league. On the retrieval, we're just trying to do too much. We could stop here and just keep it moving with the original flow. That angle just isn't good enough to wield there. Part of that is on the puck carrier, but also that D-man needs to be aware that he has an entire half of the ice to himself, and we're going to get a two-touch breakout. Instead, we make a dog's breakfast of it before we finally get it out. Forecheck, and this is about just game awareness and spacing. I'm a fan when the forwards change for one guy to stay out in the middle of the ice above the tops of the circles, but just inside the blue line is to not give a zone away for free. 75 feet of runway is a lot in a 200-foot game. Okay, fine, you're in the muck, now you got to shovel it. We need to get in the habit of finishing plays off in a lot of ways, and here, F1, I'm assuming you think you aren't alone on the rink based on how you're acting. You're going to get a clean look at a chest of a player here. I'd like that hit to be made. It's weird because it's in this particular spot, it's probably not the best play because you're alone, but I'm not convinced you know you're alone. Then it looks like we're going to actually get a good forecheck rotation going, but F3 and F1 refuse to rotate out of their original spots, and then they just kind of go all Siamese twins in the middle of the rink. It's not a natural thing maybe to rotate on the forecheck. We don't practice it that well. We don't talk on the rink. But we're talking about it right now, and you can talk about it on the rink. Call for the switch here. Play with your own momentum. There are not a lot of start and stop players on this team, so if you're going to flow, at least flow right. Essentially, the entire team engages on the puck in an area of the rink that's not advantageous to either team, really. And more on flow. Sundin is a one-man cycle mission. He's going to work his way through three guys in the corner. The guy in front needs to move and look. Part of hockey sense is knowing your own limitations of a player. I don't know who that is in all honesty, but first of all, you're not open. Even if the two guys covering you aren't there, you're still not open because that puck is just not going to get there. Read the flow and then put it against your own ability. This is a right shot on the left side of the net on a play coming out of the left wing corner. You have two choices. One, if you're a terrific shooter, you slide out towards the left dot a little bit, not all the way, but towards it, and you get ready to get off a crossbody shot with a quick release because you're not going to have a lot of time. That sounds like too much, and frankly, it does to me. For a lot of the players at this level, that's Phil Kessel stuff. Or, if you don't feel like you're going to go crossbody snapper far post and in, you start making your way behind the net on the wide side of it because the puck carrier is already headed that way, so you don't want to cut him off. You want to get into the next lane and get ready to accept the puck and make a simple support play. There's another player in there that's just lost in the wash, and watch when the puck goes back to the point. There's exactly one player on the rink that has any idea what the score is, and it's the guy who had it originally on the cycle. No one else has a prayer on that play. If that scenario played out 100 more times, those two guys in the middle touch the puck a total of 0 times out of 100. Next, the poor forecheck alignment. 2 guys to the puck. The threat is left wide open, and he has a lane to skate the length of the surface. F3 is cheated to that side where it's stacked. F2 needs to be wide, as F1 has dictated the terms, and it's very, very predictable where the puck is going next, yet he is left unmolested. Here comes the opposite of something that we talked about, where now we're so gung-ho about supporting the play, but we're clearly lined up for a shot. This guy that's going around the net, he's got to come to that far side post. He's got to emerge and get ready for the rebound. They're ready for the tip. Instead, he drifts out of the play. Here, another poor forecheck rotation. At this exchange, player 11 or player 12 needs to call out, "I got puck," and whoever doesn't get it, is F2 in this case. Instead, silently, 2 players go after the puck. Well, kinda. F2 is tracking the wrong way, and it leaves another wide open lane. And then here, real simple, easy, pretty easy retrieval. We just throw the puck away. We can throw that play out of the playbook, I think. So here, a better forecheck off of a lost offensive zone draw. F1 is in. F2 makes a good play on the boards. Probably almost our 10th hit this year, and it generates an opportunity. And then we don't keep it alive. We are set up to support it pretty well. We're well structured, and they end up throwing the puck away instead of coming in on an odd man rush. Unlike this situation, here they're stopped up at the line. They have 3 guys on one half of the ice, 2 are on top of each other, and we have a back checker in good position against a right-handed shooter. Look at the gap, though. We're 22 feet off the line, so they can just waft into the zone at their leisure and get set up pretty easily. Now, they're still all boxed up, but we are determined to give them a chance out of this by backing up. Soon, Fromm is going to be in front of the defense at the rate that it's going, and now things have gone far enough, apparently, that we start to engage. But in the meantime, it has allowed them to bring a 4th player into the fray, and he's unmarked and in the house. A situation where we had even numbers the whole way. The play isn't even much of a rush or transition chance, but now we're 2-on-1 underneath the dots. We have a D-man leave his feet to try to make a play, and silently, we have 2 players go for the puck behind the net. The net front is left wide open with 2 in the slot. We come up empty-handed, both body and puck behind the net, which is fascinating. And then we're awake just long enough to pull the puck out of our own net. This is disengaged hockey. This is how you play if you think bounces will just go your way without provocation. Then here, the smaller potatoes, but still super helpful. Player 25 supports the draw, moves to get open, gets the puck, gets it in when he runs out of real estate. It doesn't take much to make this work. More on gaps here. We're in pretty good shape off a transition chance against. The puck is lost at their line, so it's a quick turnaround. But we're all above the puck, really. The forwards are providing fine support defensively. But look at the gap on this defensive pairing as this play develops. The attack is hitting speed bumps, but we're playing it like it's a hard rush chance. 2 standstills at the blue line, and the puck isn't coming in with any kind of speed. The D-men aren't on the screen. It pans over, and we're at the top of the circle. And look at the room to create that's been allowed. Just unnecessary. We can tighten that. So we talked about gaps on the other side. Let's look at spacing here and just taking the temperature of the game around us. This is why instinct and hockey sense are the most valued traits among people worth their salt. Puck is in the right wing corner. All 5 blue players are below their own hash marks. We're in some trouble with the puck, but we have it clearly. Also, clearly, we need some help to keep this alive. The natural play is the path of least resistance, and that's to the point. We have player 22 who is standing 1.6 kilometers from the net. He couldn't be less interested. The puck becomes free. The spacing is still half a zone, and he he half steps backs off the line. Now this simple play, and really this has the opportunity to be a real scoring chance from 40 or 42 feet, now becomes a much harder play because he's trying to get to the puck from the stands instead of being in the play. Now we let it roll, and you see everyone is clenched because no one is sure what's going to happen. Player 22 doesn't, the three guys down low don't, and his partner doesn't. A predictable play, one that would have been generated from just dipping our toes into the icy waters of the offensive zone, becomes a stomach knot because we're not engaged. This stone skips harmlessly into the bottom of the pond, and that's the end of the attack. Not to be outdone, the ensuing face-off is... I mean, the wheel is spinning, but the hamster's dead. How does this happen at any level? Finally, the alarm goes off, and we drowsily get out of bed, but we are late for work there. Here's what happens when you are engaged. We make a good hit on the boards. We take a hit to make a play in behind. We skate through the action to pick up a puck, and that constitutes terrific support. And then we outlet to our go-to, and we're out clean. Penalty kill, I just wanted to touch on this, maintaining that triangle. I'm very much in favor of attacking weakness when we're short, but just make sure when they establish possession that we get back tight. Player 25 needs to rotate back underneath of player 13 there. Our D need to be careful not to get their faces sucked out to the mid-level and maintain proper inside positioning, get sticks up off the ice, get up and underneath, come from low and inside so we don't get beat back to our net. Later in the sequence, we'll finish it off with some aggressive penalty killing as the two high guys manage things really well up high, and they do not allow anything to get down into the danger zones. They're rewarded with a clear. Like we talked about in practice, here's a situation where we're forechecking through a line change. One forward stays out, which is right, and though he's deeper than what is ideal, he's not in bad shape at all, and he manages the ice well. We form a 1-2-2, and the result is, well, it's not an odd man rush against. Here, and this is a quick hitter, we have a chance to be proactive and keep the puck as opposed to being reactive and watching. D-man is going face first into the glass with pressure. Partner should read that situation and immediately be screaming for a reverse because he is wide open. It's a little thing, and it's got to be real quick, but any lost defensive zone draw or an extension of a draw might as well be a scoring chance against. Here we're in a little bit of a tricky spot. We have a stickless D-man, so we know we're going to need a little more center support than usual here. Instead, as the play develops, we get outnumbered 3-1 in close because everyone has addressed the puck except for the D-man without a baton. Fromm has to replicate the save that Fleury made on Lidstrom to end the 2009 season. The center then compounds his problem by making a 50-50 play at best. And when he knows his goalie had to leave his feet to make a save, that generates yet another unnecessary chance. And then here's a situation where we should be aggressively on the 2-1-2 forecheck. Instead, 91 is left to fend for himself after kicking the beehive. Our defensemen don't appear to be on the field. I get the panic of having a guy behind you. If that's so uncomfortable, then fine. But call it out to your forwards that they need to kind of back it off for spatial integrity. Otherwise, it's okay to front pucks if you're staggered and have 100 feet to react to a pass that needs to be catchable. I think you're going to be all right. I really think if we're hard on D-men in this league, particularly on their backhand, we're going to win a ton of pucks and therefore a ton of games.